I maintain that Walter Hamada is unfit for a position of leadership, and I am willing at any point to submit to a polygraph test. Wow.
Jeez.
Whoa, homie. Damn.
Oh, let's see it. It's gonna happen now.
Do it.
It's gonna
live stream your polygraph test
on Instagram.
Wow. Well, guys, this is certainly gonna make the Snyder Cut interesting to watch this year. Got a piece of news here about Ray Fisher. Nothing else happened in the world today.
Nope.
Nothing else happened in the world.
No news.
No news at all.
Papers,
this is the only news.
No news shows. No one's talking about anything.
Okay, so Ray Fisher put out a statement, and here we go. I have received official confirmation that Warner Brothers Pictures has decided to remove me from the cast of The Flash. Okay, there we go. I mean, I feel like a lot of us predicted that that would probably be the case based off of the situation. We just talked about it in a video, I think, last week. I strongly disagree with their decision, but it is one that is unsurprising. This is literally the first time I'm reading this personally. I know you've read it. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
Despite the misconception, Cyborg's involvement in The Flash. Wow. Wow. Okay. Because someone put out, I forget which scooper, said like, oh no, that was just a rumor. Oh, wow. Shit.
Yeah.
Cyborg's involvement in The Flash was much larger than a cameo. And while I do mourn the lost opportunity to bring Victor Stone back to the screen, bringing awareness to the actions of Walter Hamada will prove to be a much more important contribution to our world. Damn, this is a whole can of worms. On December 30th, 2020, I made it clear that I cannot, with a clear conscience, participate in any production associated with the current president of DC Films, Walter Hamada. Okay, the reasoning behind that declaration was twofold. Walter's purposeful attempt to undermine the Justice League investigation in order to protect his friend and former co-president Jeff Johns. Walter's attempt to protect himself by contributing to the public dissemination of lies and misinformation about myself and the Justice League investigation in Warner Brothers Pictures September 4th statement to the Rep. Okay, so I mean, it sounds like he was fired, but either way, he wasn't going to go through with it. Yeah. Is the impression that I'm getting.
Unless Walter Hamada is somehow magically removed from all this, yeah.
Yeah, because he's saying that he was removed from the cast, meaning I was fired. Yeah. But regardless, he made it pretty clear that with Walter Hamada, he wouldn't be involved anyway.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, the big part is like the clarification that he was supposed to have a much larger role in there.
Absolutely.
That Flash movie just keeps getting reworked, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm so fascinated to know what we're actually going to see, if we'll ever actually see it.
Bear in mind, Walter Hamada interfering with the Justice League investigation is a completely separate issue than the investigation itself. And Walter's behavior was not a point of focus for the investigation of the Justice League reshoots. His dangerous and enabling actions during the investigation process must be called to account. Man, he's going to war.
He's going hard.
I mean, we already know he's been, but I can imagine just how much more fired up the guy is now. On July 7th, 2020, during a 57-minute long phone call with Walter, I made multiple attempts to have him escalate my claims of misconduct against Whedon, Johns, and John Berg through the proper channels.
And that happened.
Rather than escalate the situation when initially asked, Walter disparaged Joss Whedon and John Berg in an attempt to cover for Jeff Johns. When I alerted Walter that Jeff was, in fact, a major contributor to the issues experienced, including blatant racism. Man, I can imagine it's hard to find real proof on these kind of things if, you know, if all this is to be believed.
Yeah.
Because there's some people who just really don't believe him anymore, and there are some people who do champion and believe him. Walter, right now I'm at a point I'm like I could believe it, but I can't really say just yet. Yeah, but at the same time, like a situation like this, it's really be hard to find proof. Walter tried, because a lot of this sounds like it's conversational stuff. Well, not like they're sending him text messages, you know?
Yeah,
so that's why.
That's probably what drives every victim of any of this treatment bananas, is because, yeah, so much of the time it's a hearsay situation of, this person said this to me, well, was there someone around, a video? Yeah.
Exactly. That's it. Walter tried, but to no avail, to get me to reveal the names of witnesses and other specifics that we could use to forewarn Jeff of the claims being brought against him. Okay, so he had witnesses, but he didn't bring them? Okay. I mean, there's so much. You just talked about a 57-minute phone call, so right? It's a 2-page statement, so there's so much more to this than what's here. Walter even went so far as to sharply dismiss certain claims of mine as untrue because of his work experience and personal relationship with Jeff. You gotta have proof. That's the tough part, man. That's the tough part. Is like you gotta have the real, like, especially with stuff like this, but. I mean, maybe if Walter Hamada was so flippant in the manner of like, nope, don't believe it. I mean, you need, that's what you're going up against, though, and you need to have. But why wouldn't he provide the names of witnesses? That's the kind of the curious part.
That's what I'm chewing on. Yeah, I mean, maybe he thought that he would just go above Ray. I mean, he is above Ray Fisher in the hierarchy of Warner Brothers, so maybe he would go and talk to those people or fix it up or something, or just warn Jeff Johns. But at the same time, if Walter Hamada is the president and is the guy you're directly dealing with, you'd think that everything would need to be on the table. So I am a little confused by that.
Especially something like this. Yeah. Walter indicated that he was briefed on Joss Whedon's problematic behavior well in advance of my speaking out on July 1st, 2020. Okay, he indicated. Doesn't mean he said for sure. That's like an assumption, essentially. That briefing likely came from Jeff Johns, with whom Walter served as co-president of DC Films. Regardless of how he was made aware, Walter knew there was legitimacy to my claims against Joss Whedon, yet he persisted in trying to minimize and dismiss the situation, claiming that it is a producer's job to protect the director and that he was looking to move beyond anything to do with Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh. Fascinating. I mean, Walter Hamada has... I forget exactly what that quote was. We brought it up in last week's video.
Oh, the cul-de-sac thing about it's a dead end.
It's a dead end. It should just stop there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Literally, this is something where people are choosing sides strongly, and it's like, well, which one do you just more believe? It wasn't until I argued Walter down that he agreed to escalate my claims as asked, citing it as above his pay grade. Really?
Wow.
Above his pay grade? Damn.
You need to find the actual Warner Brothers to deal
go
with
to
this.
the ghost of Warner Brothers, knowing that he had overstepped and I had no intention of backing down. Walter made matters worse by making a tastelessly self-aware joke about not wanting me to put him on Twitter about this. Well, here we are. Oh, well, now you. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, he's bringing it all here.
We're on every social platform.
Damn, dude. We need receipts or something. Despite Walter's best efforts, the Justice League investigation was able to expose the racist, coercive. I'll get there.
You're doing so good, man. You're doing so good.
This investigation's got me all flustered. Discriminatory and we'll get there. Behavior of Jeff Johns during his tenure with Warner Media's affiliates. Okay, the joke.
Affleck
has also led to more media parting of ways between Warner Media and Joss Whedon. While it may be legally and financially safer, while it be he had a typo.
Wow. Wow,
Ray. This is a legal case, buddy. Maybe legally and financially safer to quietly phase Jeff Johns out or to let Joss Whedon exit of his own accord. I share neither responsibilities. My responsibilities are and have been to try to protect those that were brave enough to lend their voice to the Justice League investigation, to use what little power I possess. But who lent their voice? I want to know who those witnesses are.
Yeah.
I need to know. I deserve everything.
Need to be in on this investigation.
Yeah. To use what little power I possess to ensure that the workplace behavior exhibited during the Justice League reshoots and its investigation never happens again. No one in any profession should have to argue with their employer for the claims of abuse, racism, and discrimination to be taken to the proper chain of command. And no, when you're making strong accusations, though, I think there is the side that, with stuff like this, you gotta... But then he's saying he presented some stuff. We just don't know exactly what that is. And that's and according to this, he's saying some people did speak, but there were some who he didn't give up names to. Okay. And no one in any position of leadership should attempt to dissuade those wishing to report such claims from doing so. I agree that it should be if this accusation is being brought up, it should be taken seriously. I agree with that. Walter's accusations have transformed this narrative from an investigation of on-set misconduct in 2017 to the examination of the present-day cover-up culture of Hollywood. His contribution to Warner Brothers Pictures, September 4th, to the rap was false, cowardly, and reckless. I maintain that Walter Hamada is unfit for a position of leadership, and I am willing at any point to submit to a polygraph test. Wow.
Jeez.
Whoa, homie. Damn.
Oh, let's see it. It's gonna happen now.
Do it.
It's gonna
live stream your polygraph test.
On Instagram.
Wow.
Instagram
live stream it. Holy crap, that's crazy.
Go live with Walter.
I mean, damn, dude. I've been talking all about receipts. You get to this point, you're like, well, let's get that polygraph going. Yeah. Do a wired polygraph. I don't know how many instances of workplace abuse Walter has attempted to cover in the past, but hopefully the Justice League investigation will be the last. And at the end of my time as Cyborg as a cost for helping to bring awareness and accountability to Walter Hamada's actions, I'll pay it gladly. Onward. Accountability over entertainment. Ray Fisher, you reach a point in life where you simply must take a stand. Well, damn.
My man,
I think we all know we gotta get that polygraph going.
Yeah. And then during the polygraph, we need to ask details on what that flash appearance was.
At the same time, I mean, think about it though. Like he could do a polygraph. Let's say he asks the question. They ask the question. All these damning questions. He passes the polygraph of flying colors. And then bam, people will come out and be like, well, here's why polygraphs aren't reliable. Yeah, exactly. Ray's an actor. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he's really good at staying calm.
At the end of the day, it's like the position he's in really relies on solid proof to take against him. Because he's going up against people in much more powerful positions than him.
Absolutely.
And like I'm saying, like, it's not that I don't believe him. And it's not that I don't... In the beginning, I was initially like, yeah, Ray Fisher's side right away. And I'm likely to believe him. That's the thing, is I'm very much more likely to believe him at this, but also come from the side of it's really hard to provide proof. And I know that when we're talking about a legal battle, everything rides on proof. Yeah. Everything rides on evidence, you know? Yeah. And the thing is, that's the hardest thing to find. So if I were to talk one-on-one with this guy, I'd be like, I believe you, dude, but you don't have proof, so you won't win. You know, like,
well, yeah, especially in cases of, you know, interpersonal misconduct, it's so hard to prove or to get support. And I mean, you can see
because then other people putting their careers on the line, and now it would be even harder for people to fight with him. Yeah, like
absolutely.
Damn, that is crazy. That's a bummer.
Yeah,
that's a bummer for him. But he seems dead set on, like, I just don't. The reason I believe him is because of, like, well, why would the guy put his whole career? Everyone knew this was the point. He was putting his career on the line by doing this.
Absolutely.
From the very beginning, he was putting his career on the line.
And every time he shows back up, he's doubling down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's always putting his career on the line. And for someone to be this outspoken about it, because some people, I've seen other people online, on YouTube, who just call him like, no, he just did this in the wake of, like, the Black Lives Matter movement. That was like the main thing I've heard. He did this in the wake of the Black Lives Matter movement to garner attention and sympathy for stuff that probably wasn't even that bad. It's stuff that he's being accusatory of happens on set all the time. That's the main flip side of those against Ray Fisher.
Yeah. But
like, no, come on, man.
can't
Give him a little more credit than that. Look how
Yeah.
far this guy's gone.
Because again, every time you think they've clapped back in some kind of effective way, he just keeps coming back with more.
That's what I mean.
More.
It's not. Yeah, that's. I can't believe it's just that. That's ridiculous to me.
Well, yeah, and the main question that leaves me with is just how much of these things that are withheld, because like this has become such a public thing, and that's a troublesome thing to me, because there's certain details I'm sure legally we're just not allowed to hear.
Of course.
I'm sure this statement is even omitting specifics we're not allowed to hear.
He talked about one 57-minute phone call.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I want to stay updated on what Ray Fisher's fight is. And, you know, like we cover this from time to time. It's not. This is something that is of genuine interest. It's an important thing to talk about.
Yeah, and I mean, it is. I mean, this is a big machine, and with people like Harvey Weinstein, we've learned there's tons and tons and tons of cover-up culture within Hollywood and pretty much any business where humans congregate.
And then the fan uproar can be even crazier once we get to the point of the Snyder Cut coming out. And with as much as Zack Snyder has, I mean, let's face it, Snyder Cut fans are probably the most passionate side of the DC films more than any other side of the DC films. So if freaking Cyborg is the heart of the film and he is like one of the main highlights, is the standout, he's great. Whoa, you're gonna hear an uproar. I mean, it's already happening from the Snyder Cut camp.
Yeah. And I mean, this will definitely taint any like plans moving forward for that. You know, even if you didn't want to hold on to the cul-de-sac.
Oh, dude,
comment.
this is nuts.
This is big. Yeah.
Guys, leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe. Click that notification bell. Man, do you stand with Ray Fisher? Would you rather just wait till evidence? It's like that's where I'm at. I'm like, look, at the moment, I'm likely to believe Ray Fisher. At the same time, I'm like, there's a legal battle, and I know that you can't win unless you have some evidence.
Major burden of proof.
That's the thing. That's kind of where I'm at, you know. But damn, shit. Let's see what's.
Let's hope it works out for the best.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.